All right. 3 commitments in the books now after a huge win in Bedlam. I mean, I'm just so glad we didn't lose to Oklahoma State for 2 years in a row. I don't know if I could have dealt with that, guys, but I am joined today by Drew England and, of course, the man of the hour, Kendel Dolby. Before we dive into the interview, though, Drew, tell them where they can find you.
Hey, what guys? Thanks for letting me join this one, PG. But I'm Drew England, host of the Under Official Review podcast. We do a college football podcast. We're actually doing a live show tonight at 7 on YouTube. So come in and check it out. We're going to talk rivalry week, Thanksgiving, all that stuff. Just give you a breakdown. But you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. And hey, I'm excited to get to know one of our newest commitments. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. We got a lot of good content coming up. For those of you that are tuning in right now, we do have another video coming out later tonight at 8:30 with Caden Green, Heath Ozaida, and Logan Howland, 3 of the offensive linemen that are going to be protecting your quarterback of the future, Jackson Arnold, and potentially Dylan Gabriel next year. So come in, join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. But Kendel, let's go ahead and let's get started with you. I want to hear a little bit more about what your visit was like during Bedlam and a little bit more about that recruitment and how all of this came to fruition.
Yeah, so like first I want to say the visit at Bedlam was just crazy. Like as far as the fan base, the attendance of the fans, like everything was just meant to be. So Coach Hall had told me he wanted me to come up for Bedlam. Like they was obviously recruiting me for a little bit, and I decided that I was going to go. And when I went up there, first I got invited to the VIP dinner, and that was basically like where the top recruits or whatever get to go meet the coaches. And I went there, I met Coach Hall, Coach Villar, and all them. And the biggest thing for me was like the genuineness. Like I wanted to make sure, I already had the mindset that I was going to commit to OU. Like obviously I wanted to, go in there, fill everything out a little bit. But like the biggest thing for me was like the genuineness of the coaches. And as soon as I got there, like Coach Hall, I met him, he gave me a hug, Coach Villar dapped me up. And I was like, okay, it's a pretty good start. Everybody, showing love. So that was a little VIP dinner. It went well. Got to the facilities, was able to, look around a little bit. Really liked everything I seen. Met even more coaches. And so as far as the game, what really started it off for me was I was walking, like all the recruits was walking out. We were about to go down the tunnel, and JP pulled me aside and he was like, I want you to meet Coach Venables right here, like right when he was about to come out the tunnel. I'm like, well, I'm about to meet Coach Venables for the first time. Like he wanted to meet me in person for so long, and we just had conversations over the phone, Zoom call, FaceTimes, and so to be able to meet him was surreal. So he came out of his office, pulled me back into his office, talked to me, gave me a big hug, was happy to meet me. I felt really privileged to do that, just for the simple fact, like I was the only recruits that I know of that got to do that. So that was big for me. And he expressed how genuine he wanted me, the coaching staff wanted me. And the biggest thing that was big for me was he was really expressing how much he wanted to make me a better man. And that was bigger than me, because sometimes we forget that this is bigger than football. For a lot of people, it's bigger than football. So being a better man is big to me. And when he said that, he sold me. So at the time, I was thinking about committing, but it was just so much pressure. I'm a JUCO dude, so I'm new to all this. So it was a lot of pressure. So I didn't commit right then and there. But after the game, I got even more of a feel for the game. The environment was crazy. The crowd was crazy. Fans was showing love. Coaches showing love. And after the game, they got the win, obviously. I went back into the locker room and I told Coach Villar, I was like, I think I want to have that talk with Coach Venables. And he was just cheesing. He's like, you want to do it right here in the locker room? And I was like, yeah, that works. So Coach Venables got done doing his little speech, talking to the players. And I went up and told him, and he was like, so you all in? I was like, I'm all in. He's like, stop playing. I was like, no, I'm serious. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so he dapped me up, gave me a hug, and after that, it was history after that.
Yeah, so we all know, you're a highly talented recruit from the JUCO ranks. I believe the number one DB in the nation right now. Talk about your process and how you got from obviously your commitment from Oklahoma, but from the JUCO to your days in Springfield. Talk us through where you're from, what you're about, kind of your background, how you grew up, stuff like that, and how you got from high school to JUCO to now Oklahoma Sooner commit.
Yeah, so in high school, really just the biggest thing for me, and I'm honest about it, is and I was never a dude who got in trouble. I was always a good, a good student, whatever. But the biggest thing for me is I wasn't mature in the classroom like I should have been. Like, obviously, they tell you got to be mature in the classroom, but as a kid, you don't like school. You don't want to hear that. So uh, I remember it was my junior year. My high school coach, Coach Dub, we was in the weight room. He was lifting, and then he was like, "There's a lot of schools here to recruit a dude who can't be recruited." And at the time, I wasn't knowing that. I didn't know that it was me. And then I realized that he was talking about me, and it was just the simple fact, like my grades wasn't up to par like they should have been. So senior year came around, still nothing. Obviously had schools wanting to talk to me. D1 schools wanted to recruit me. Just like I said, wasn't mature in the classroom like I should have been. So Coach Sully is a defensive coordinator. Well, he was a defensive coordinator at NEO last year, and he's actually from the Springfield area. Was very familiar with my high school, my head coach, and he, found my film and loved the way I play. And he was just like, basically asked my coach, like, what's the reason he's not at the Division I level? What's the reason he's not signing with a Division I school? And my head coach, Coach Doug, told him like just grades. And Coach Sully basically said like, if he comes out here, takes care of his class work, learns to love the classroom as much as he does the football field, then everything's gonna work out for himself. So I decided to. It was actually between two JUCOs. I was actually getting recruited by a JUCO in California, and then it was also NEO. And California JUCOs, they're a little rough. Like JUCO itself is rough, but Cali JUCOs is different. So, I just thought about it, prayed about it, and I decided to go to Oklahoma. And then after that, I was determined. I felt like I let a lot down. I feel like let myself down. I was playing with my potential. I knew the player I was, just knew I had to lock in the classroom. So that's what I did, just locking in the classroom, doing my schoolwork, being the first one to class, always, building that relationship with my teacher, learning to love school, because without school, there is no football. And I feel like a lot of people forget that. And it took me a little longer to understand that. And I'm glad that I was able to take the JUCO route and realize that that's what you have to do. So like I said, I locked in the classroom, and it's been history. I just blew up since then. Like, I continue to be the player I am that I've always been on the field. Like, I knew I could make plays. I knew I was in my mind, I know I'm a dog. So that was never nothing that I had to think about. Like, it was just a classroom. So I locked in the classroom, got my grades right, and it's took off from there.
Yeah, so a lot of people, as me being a high school football coach, I think that's something that I try to preach to our young guys, and something that I try to really put into them is, hey, you're a student athlete. Your student comes first. You have to do that. So for you, that's awesome. I'm glad that you found that determination and that chip on your shoulder to say, you know what, I may have messed up a little bit in high school, but that's not gonna derail my future. And to have you in this situation right now, man, that's just praise to your hard work and your dedication for not giving up and putting yourself in the situation that certainly I know that the work is not done, but it adds another chapter in your story. So congrats on that.
So appreciate that.
Yeah, so definitely sounds like you've had to overcome adversity off the field, which is a good thing because that means you're going to be able to handle the adversity on the field. And at the University of Oklahoma, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to have adversity on the field. When you're playing Power 5 schools and that elite level, it's just going to happen. It's just going to be there. So go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yourself, right? So we've heard about how you grew up in JUCO. We've heard about the classroom. Tell us a little bit more about who is Kendel Dolby. Tell us more about your family, where you grew up, and those kind of things.
Yeah, so me, I would say like really I'm just a chill. Anybody who knows me, they know I'm a chill, relaxed, humble type of dude. Like, I feel like growing up, I grew up in a single parent home with my mom, my beautiful mother Tiffany Couch. Uh, uh, the biggest thing about growing up was, I ain't gonna say we had the hardest times. I was always taught that somebody always has it harder, but obviously there was struggling times, and my mom always pushing through those times. As far as, I grew up with 4 siblings. I grew up with 3 other siblings. So it was my mom and 4 of us in the house. And, she was always, one thing about her, she never gave up. Like, she always made sure to try to get, we didn't always have what we want, but she made sure to have, we had what we needed. And that was big to me, like, just, growing up and seeing such a hardworking lady, never give up. I feel like that's what made my character, as far as, when you go through adversity, you got to push through it and you got to find a way. And yeah, so like really that's just who I am. I'm humble. I know where I come from, I know where I started from. It hasn't been easy, and I'm glad it hasn't been easy. Like sometimes I tell myself, like, man, I wish this was easy. I wish I would have did it right in high school, but I wouldn't trade this situation of going JUCO and struggle. I wouldn't trade that for nothing. Like it's built my characters to a whole different level. Like as far as trials and tribulations, like you said, when there's adversity, you got to push through it. And I feel like anybody who's able to push through adversity, got a good head on their shoulders. And I feel like if you're going through anything, if you have to fight through anything, you just got to fight. Like it just comes down to that. Like even when there's times when you want to give up, I feel like if you want something bad enough, there is no giving up. That's just how I feel. Like, so that's kind of my mindset as far as like, no matter what, I'm gonna keep pushing. Like I'm gonna make a way regardless. And I'm obviously humble when I say that. Like I'm a humble person, but I know whatever I put my mind to, like I'm gonna get it. And I feel like I pushed so much and worked through it so much that I deserve it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no,
you
that makes sense.
mentioned your relationship earlier with Coach Hall and Coach Valai. When did that all start? When did you kind of get the sense that, hey, Oklahoma may be a real possibility for you? And when did you start building those relationships with those coaches? And what ultimately in your mind just said, Oklahoma is the right fit?
Yeah. So the story behind that is actually crazy. Like I'm gonna tell you the story about how like that first came about. So I was just chilling in my room after practice one day or after a little workout or something like that, and I'm chilling there. I seen actually Coach Venables was the first one to follow me, like the first coach to follow me. I didn't think nothing of it. I'm thinking, oh, it's a little fake account, not OU, like it can't be OU. So fake account, and I go to my Twitter page and I see it, the verified symbol, and I seen his name, and that's the whole coaching staff starts following me, starts DMing me, Kendel, KD, Kendel, text me, send me your number. So I'm like, hold on, what's going on? Like, Coach Venables DM me and said it, like, send me your number. So I called Coach Hall. I was able to call Coach Hall first, and he told me, he was talking to me. He's like, first thing he said is, Coach Venables owes me lunch because we all made a bet who could get you on the phone first. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking like, okay, they're showing interest. And I didn't really, like I said, I didn't think nothing of it. I'm just thinking, they're just talking. And he just told me like, we love your film. Coach Venables loves your film. The whole coaching staff loves your film. And, we want to build this relationship and we want to keep it going. So from there, it was just, I think a week went by and or maybe like 2 weeks. And when I first got the offer is when Oklahoma State actually offered me before OU. But the thing was, like, when OU called me, Coach Hall he was a little mad about it. But he was making it clear to me that they wanted me, since they've laid eyes on me, it's just, you got to go through that process as far as transcript, make sure your academics is right and all that. So they offered me, and we just been building the relationship. Like, they make sure, I think, I'm going to say this, like, more than any other school, calling my mom every day, texting me, calling me every day, outside of football, just checking on me, just making sure I'm all right, like, seeing where my head's at, preaching how much they want me and how much they would love to have me in their program. And that was big to me. Like, being a JUCO guy, you only got me. I played as a true freshman, so I got 2 to 3 years left, So the biggest thing for me was genuineness. Like,
Well, I think a lot of people, especially in our fan base, have heard the stories and have heard that, yeah, hey, we're all about, building relationships. We're genuine. But for a recruit to come out and really solidify that just, it means so much to me, because it gives people that understanding that, hey, they practice what they preach, and they're really all about building relationships and helping you guys as athletes, not only on the field, but becoming better men in life too. So that's awesome.
Sure.
Yeah, so you've kind of said it. People call you KD, so I have to ask the question. We have had a KD here in Oklahoma before. He wore the number 35. Are you thinking about suiting up with number 35 on the field?
Nah, hey, number 3 is my number. I love number 3. I don't really care. I was always taught the number don't make the player makes the number. So like I obviously want number 3, but I can't see myself at 35 now.
That's pretty good. So with I got to ask this: are you going to be an early enrollee? Are you coming in the spring, or when is your timeline to kind of get to OU?
Yeah, so as far as right now, as long as I just finish out my classes strong, like I have been doing, I'll be there in January. So I'll be there.
Are you have you heard any Smitty stories yet?
No, sir, I don't think so.
Yeah, that strength and conditioning is no joke. So
No,
yeah, Coach Jerry Schmidt will get you right. So
Do you know who Jerry Schmidt is? I think that's the important question.
yes, that's the important question.
I don't think I met him. I might have met him, but I ain't gonna lie. I've been shaking so many hands and recognize face.
Small white guy, bald head.
Yeah, young. Yeah,
I probably did see him, but I can't remember right
yeah.
now.
He'll probably call you Big Dog. So
Big
if you yeah, so
I'll
don't
just
worry, you will
I-
get acquainted with Coach Smitty pretty quick. So
I'll give you this advice though: don't show up to practice late.
Oh yeah, most
You
definitely.
don't want to show up to practice late with Smitty.
no doubt.
You'll never do it again. Let's just say that you'll never do it again.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do we have some questions in the comments? Maybe some guys want to ask some questions. I don't know if there's any down there.
Yeah. If you guys got questions, put them in the comments. Let us know, and we will put them up here for Kendall to answer. But Kendall, I got some questions for you. So, what is your thoughts on the NIL and how that's changing the college football landscape? So, this has been something that not only are schools, players, coaches, and fans having to adapt to, but it's something that we're learning every single week. So it seems like it's always ever changing, but it also provides an opportunity for you guys to be able to go to college and, where you guys aren't able to get a job while you're having to go to class and then having all these practices. It gives you guys an opportunity to have a way of life and make a living. What does NIL mean to you as a football player?
I think NIL is a good thing. I see why they came out with NIL. Like you said, like college football players are having to go to class, can't really get a job. So I feel like you got to find some way to support yourself, because like you're not in your mom's dad's house no more. You're on your own. So I feel like NIL is a good thing. As far as for me, like obviously I'm getting new to it and learning more about it. But like for me, like it was never about NIL for me. Like I said, I'm a JUCO dude, so I was hungry. There was no amount of money in the world. Like obviously the money looks good, but I'm hungry to play the game I love. And that was the biggest thing for me. Like, obviously, it's a good thing. I see why they've done it. It's like you said, it's new. But to me, like I said, I'm learning more about it. But for me, it was never about any type of money, any type of NIL deal. I'm just hungry for an opportunity and showcase my talent.
Speaking as a former college athlete, man, I wish I would have had a little extra cash and some
Yeah.
NIL deals. But you young guys, man, go after it, and enjoy it. You guys deserve a piece of the pie because you're working hard. You're doing what you're supposed to do, and shout out to you guys for having that ability to do that now. So,
well, we got some questions in the chat, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull one of them up. So Jordan Dolby said, "My question for Kendall is, what is your biggest strength as a defensive back, and what do you need to work on?"
My biggest strength, I would say, really is I like to hit. Like I'm not the biggest dude, but one thing about me is I'm fearless. Like I love to come up and hit, and I feel like at the DB position, some dudes, they don't want to get dirty, but I don't care to get dirty. So that's what I would say. My biggest strength is obviously I feel like I can cover well. I feel like I got a pretty good IQ on the field. I would say the biggest thing I have to work on is like it's a newer level. So I would say the biggest thing for me is the biggest thing I have to work on the field. I would say is really, learning even more, building my IQ more on the field. But off the field, I would say the biggest thing I have to work on is learning to take care of your body. Like I've been realizing, like your body is important. Your body is your temple. So that's the biggest thing I'll say I would work on off the field. But on the field, definitely I would say just keep building my IQ and understanding the game of football. So
that's awesome.
Hey, that's a good answer. Got another one from one of our fellow podcasters, Jay with Unfair Sports. If you guys haven't, go check him out. Great content, a great OU content specifically. But he says, Kendall, what was the funniest thing a coach said to you about your game? You don't have to name the coach, but if you want to, I'm not going to be mad.
The funniest thing a coach said to me about my game. I'm trying to think. That's a good question. I'm trying to think. I would say Coach French. He's my defensive coordinator at NEO, and he had came in the spring, so he was getting to know everybody. And I ain't gonna say exactly what he said, but basically he was just like, that little man, he can play. That little guy can play. So that was probably the funniest thing he said to me about my game. Like he would just always preach like You know, I'm not the, like I said, I'm not the biggest dude, but just my game. That's probably the funniest thing I said. Like, I mean, I've heard, but other than that, I haven't really heard nothing too crazy.
All right, I got another one here from Quiet NMP. He says, "Is there any teammates?" And he also followed this up with coaches. So, is there any teammates or coaches you want to mention who pushed you to keep going?
Uh, yeah, I'll say, coach, my high school coach, Coach Doug. He told me when I first went JUCO that the JUCO route was gonna be easy. So, he's always telling me how proud he is about that. You know, pushing through it. Because actually, my high school coach was JUCO product too. He actually attended Coffeyville, and then before he ended up going to University of Kentucky. So, he always motivated me. Coach Chrisup at NEO, all my coaches, like they're big on preaching that, you know, we're JUCO dudes, so we're at a disadvantage when it comes to a lot of things, you know. So he's always big on preaching stuff like, if you want to make it out of here, if you want to help your family, help yourself, and better your situation, then you got to do what you got to do, and that's really the biggest motivation. As far as teammates, one of my biggest dude, like one of the biggest, he's not my teammate, he's my little brother. Like, he keeps me motivated. Like, that's truthfully a person I truly, like, I'm trying to do this for. Is like, he's one of the few that I'm trying to do it for. Like, he makes sure to keep me motivated. You know, like I said, growing up with a single mother, you know, I'm the oldest boy, so he looks up to me, so that keeps me motivated in many ways. Because I wish I had that. So yeah, he keeps me motivated. So
No, that's awesome. There's a question down here that I like, and it's my question to Kendall is: how does it feel to know that you're going to a top college football school after grinding a JUCO? And looking at your 247 profile, and I don't know if I'm missing any schools, but it looks like you had several Power 5 offers: Oklahoma, Washington State, Arkansas State, Kansas, which, hey, they're kind of on the rise. And
yeah.
then you had some from Oklahoma State and Missouri. What was that like, being a JUCO guy? And then having some top tier schools from multiple different conferences all over the college football landscape coming in and trying to grab you through the recruitment trail?
That's a great question. Truthfully, like, still to this day, to this second, like, I can't even believe I'm doing this right now. Like, you guys don't understand how thankful and blessed I am to be doing this right now. Like, this is things you practice when you're kids. Like, with my little brother, we grew up, like, I'd be like, his name's Kyron. I'd be like, Kyron, interview me real quick. And we talking about the game. So, like, this is truthfully a dream come true. Like, it's crazy. Like, I wake up every day and just think, like, everything that I've dreamed of is just coming true in front of my face. I've been blessed to be able to I received 30 Division I offers in just a couple of amount of months. And, you know, 30 is crazy to say. Like, going into it, I'm blessed if I get one Division I. So to have 30 and be able to get him, like you said, from Power 5, top school, SEC, you know, be able to commit to a school like prestigious school like OU is crazy. Like, truthfully, a dream come true. Like, I can't even believe it.
Yeah. So, kind of talking a little bit about some of these schools that you went to. One of the questions I like to ask recruits is, what is your best / worst or your funniest recruiting experience?
Uh, Recruiting. Are you talking about as far as like could it be like taking visits, like just things like
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Taking visits or conversations you had or whatever.
So I had took a visit to Washington State a couple months ago. That was my first official visit, and that whole week I was actually a little sick. We had a little bug going through campus, and it had got me, so I was sick, and I had already scheduled the visit, and I told my mom, like, obviously I was getting better close to the visit came, but I was still a little sick, so. We had went out there. I was on the plane or whatever. We had went out there, and I just told my mom, like, I'm not feeling this. Like, I'm not feeling this, like, at all. Like, I'm sick. It just didn't feel right to me. And my mom just told me to just keep waiting. And then I think it was I got there Friday. Saturday came around, and then that was the day, like, of the game and all that. And they just started spoiling us, like spoiling my mom, like, anywhere you want to go. I'm like, okay, I like this a little bit. Like, I'm sort of like this. So, uh, yeah, that's probably like something that's funny to me. You know, like, at first I really wasn't feeling it. At first, you know, I was new to it, a little alert, a little nervous, a little scared. Like, I didn't know what to expect. So, like I said, I was new to it, but I ended up liking it and starting to get used to it. So that was something that was kind of funny to me.
No, yeah, that's awesome. What are some of your expectations that you have for your time in Oklahoma?
Expectations.
Like, how do you want to grow? You know, are there any goals that you're going to set for yourself in terms of what you want to do with the team?
Like at the end of your career at Oklahoma, what do you want to have accomplished?
Really, what I want to accomplish is obviously going in there and fighting for a starting spot. Like, I know it's not going to be handed to me. I know it's not going to be easy. I know I'm competing every day at that level and just in football in general. So obviously, I want to go in there, and play right off the bat. I feel I'm the best at what I do. That's my mindset. Like, I don't care if there's 50 dudes in front of me. My mindset is I'm beating out all them dudes. So I want to go in there, get a starting spot, get my degree. That's big to me. Get my degree. I feel like a lot of athletes forget that degree is important, because football's gonna be taken away one day, but that degree can never be taken away. So that's big. And then I definitely make All-American, All Conference, make plays all over the field. I'm trying to be a star. That's the goal, to be a star. And I want to make the OU fans happy, proud, make my family proud. Everybody who support me proud. And then the biggest goal is to get to that draft day. So that's big to me. That's probably my goals right there.
Now, where do you feel like you best fit in the backfield? Do you fit best as a corner, a safety?
Yeah, so really, I played everywhere since high school. Like, I've been moved around from corner to the slot to safety. Like, I don't care where I play at, as long as I'm making plays. I'm confident. Like I said, I've been doing since high school. I've been moving around everywhere, so I'm confident. So I feel like I can make a play anywhere. So that's kind of how I feel. So
Yeah. So, what is one of the things you're most looking forward to while playing at the University of Oklahoma? Like, are there any rivalries that you're looking forward to playing in? Any
Jordan
schools?
gear.
Yeah, or any years that you're looking at, like any schools that you're looking forward to going to?
yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that the OU Texas game.
There you go.
It's a tongue twister. I can't say it's a tongue twister, but that OU Texas game,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm ready to play in that. I had seen something funny on my. I usually don't go through the comments. I try to stay out the comments, but I went through the. I seen a comment, and somebody said when I posted my commitment, going from playing in front of 7,000 fans to not even 7,000 fans to playing in front of 90,000 fans. I'm looking for that alone. Like, that's gonna be a dream come true alone.
Yeah,
So
Miami, Oklahoma is a little different than Norman, right?
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the Bedlam. I'm looking forward to just playing in the game. Like, I can't.
Who knows? I mean, you might be here long enough to see the SEC
The
too. So
yeah.
that might be maybe an awesome opportunity for you.
Yes, sir.
And there's going to be some awesome places for you guys to go now with the new guys coming in the conference, right? But likely not leaving until 2025. So likely you're going to get to go to Utah, go see it in BYU. That's going to be a beautiful place to play. Hey, you can go to Disney World when you guys go to UCF. So lots of good opportunities here. So, hey, as we start to wrap this up, there's a couple fun questions here. This one is from Jay at Unfair Sports as well, but he gave this one to me a couple months ago. Pineapples on pizza. What's your thoughts?
At first, growing up, I used to hate that. I would never try it. But now my taste buds changed. It goes on pizza for sure.
Let's go. Thank you.
Most definitely.
Yes, and then another food question that I have. I exposed myself on the JP and Trav show a couple weeks ago, but
yeah, you did.
I like peanut butter and jelly on a tortilla. Do you think that's weird? Do you think it could be good? Listen, people have been roasting me on it, but I'm telling you, it's better than you think.
You're weird.
That when you say it, it sounds weird, but like I said, like I was the same way with the pineapples on pizza. I never want to try it. I never wanted it until I tried it. And I ended up liking it. So I might have to try it. I might have to try it. But.
Hey, and another sticking on the food topics. Okay, now that we have Thanksgiving tomorrow, what is on Kendall's plate, and what is a must to have on that plate? So, like, give me a little rundown of what you put on your plate, and then the must have for Thanksgiving.
Gotta have the green bean casserole, the macaroni, turkey. I don't eat ham, so I don't do no ham. So turkey. I want it all. Give me it all.
Got you.
Oh.
Favorite dessert?
My mom makes this apple pie with like the cinnamon crisp on it. Crisp. Yeah, and we get got the vanilla ice cream, so we mix that together, and I'm good.
That's
good.
Awesome.
Oh, that just sounds so good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Thanksgiving's tomorrow, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Thanksgiving's tomorrow.
My favorite holiday.
Yes, sir.
So, listen, I got the non-traditional Thanksgiving stuff ready to go. I went to the liquor store, got some tequila, got
Easy.
some vodka, gonna mix some drinks. So, gonna watch some football. It's gonna be great. Listen. I
Kendall,
got.
just ignore that part.
Yeah.
I gotta watch the Cowgirls. I gotta watch the Cowgirls tomorrow. So I gotta have something to get me through that game. So
Yeah.
But hey, well, Kendall, we really appreciate you coming on. We really appreciate you spending time with us. And I definitely don't think this will be the last time we have you on. We're probably definitely going to want to have you on after you get on campus and hear about this experience. Because, hey, the spring game, let me tell you, that's pretty impressive to see how many people show up to a spring game.
Yeah.
And when is it, Drew? April or May usually?
It'll be April, like end of April. This first one with Coach Venables, we had 75,000 plus for a spring game. So that was awesome. So
But I grew up in Ohio, so Ohio State fans is crazy, but OU fans is up most definitely.
Hey, here's a fun question to ask you since you grew up in Ohio. Give us a prediction on the game tomorrow or on Saturday, Ohio State or Michigan.
Gotta say the Buckeye. Gotta say it's gonna be in the shoe too, so I gotta say it's gonna be a good game though.
Right on.
Are you one of those people that X out every M that you have to write or?
I don't do that, but when you go to Columbus, that's a legit thing. Like you'll see it everywhere, every
M's anywhere.
That's legit.
So, one of my best friends that I do our podcast with, he's an Ohio State fan. So we'll have some fun this week for our and I always around this time it's like because he does it for me against Texas.
Yeah.
So I always have good fun with him and try to get him to say the word Michigan this week. So
yeah, it's listen, it's one of the rivalries I have on my bucket list to go to. I love OU Texas, but man, there's something about like just being called the game that just makes it like I don't know. I feel like any college football fan can sit down and watch that one game, even if they don't like either of the teams.
Yeah,
most definitely.
So, well, Kendall, is there anything else you want to say to the fans and to everybody on here? It looks like I know we've topped at least 55 people at one point. So.
I want to say I'm all in. Boomer Sooner. I'm blessed. Like I'm gonna do everything I can to make an immediate impact for the program. And Venables, I trust 100%. And I feel like if you're an OU fan, you gotta. I know it ain't been the best year this year, but I'm telling you, just me and him, you could tell he's gonna change the program around. Most definitely. So Boomer Sooner, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
All right, Drew, go ahead and tell them where they can find you.
Hey, we are the Under Official Review podcast. You just search us on YouTube. You can find our channel. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Our audio podcasts are on Apple and Spotify. We're actually doing a live show here coming up at 7 o'clock tonight. Join us for our rivalry week and Thanksgiving preview, where we're breaking down all the rivalry games and stuff this week, talking college football playoffs, stuff like that. Myself, Ty Hayes from the Around the Sports podcast, and a couple other guys will be joining the show. But hey, man, this was fun. Kendall, thanks so much. I can't wait to meet you in person and get to know you a little bit. But we're excited to have you, and welcome to Sooner Nation.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. I'm ready to go. I'm truthfully blessed, and I'm thankful.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on today, Kendall. If you guys haven't already, please go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps me continue to bring you guys great content like this. If you haven't already, go check out the Crimson and Cream NIL initiative. We're trying to get the 3 million so that we can support athletes that are here at the program currently and incoming athletes like Kendel Dolby as well. So go ahead, make sure that you take a look at that and consider donating at the minimum $10 a month. It helps the program out so much. And you want to be able to see your Sooners do well in the future as NIL continues to expand. Remember, we have another show coming here at 8:25, 8:30 with Caden Green, Logan Howland, and Heath Ozida wrapping up the Bedlam game, their visits there, talking about what they're excited to bring to the team next year. So make sure you pull up. I'm excited to have them here.
Hey, guys, don't forget to go follow Kendall on social media as well. You're on Twitter, all that stuff. Tell us where to find you there.
Yeah, Instagram, follow me at it's 3_ and then OTTEM underscore, my bad, 3 BOTTM _KD, and then on Twitter is KD _937.
And I'll make sure to drop his socials in the comments below. So if you guys need to find him, you guys can check back here in about 10 minutes or so, and you guys can find those in the comments below. But again, Kendel, we appreciate having you on, and we're excited to have you in a Sooners uniform. You guys keep an eye out for the next interview. We got one on Friday with Reggie Grimes. I'm excited for that one. But until next time, Boomer.
Appreciate you guys.